but we never met each other, like never before. Like, and we live in the same city. And
I think that's why it was such a coincidence for me finding out that we live so close, but also never meeting him before.
You know, most recently we did see that you guys made things official. So I wanted to know too, Kyra, what was going through your mind during that moment? And Will, what led you to ask that question then during your, I think it was your final date?
So in that moment, we were on our final date. We were on that gorgeous yacht. It was the most serene experience, with the blue ocean, blue skies, no clouds at all, so sunny. And just being alone with Will was beautiful. A perfect day. I honestly was not expecting it. I wasn't expecting him to ask me in that moment. But, with everything that we've been through and kind of with where we were at that point, we were pretty much in a relationship already in the way that we treated each other, the way we were acting, everything, the way we felt was like that. It just didn't really have a label or a title at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And we both discussed that with where we were at feeling wise, emotionally, and with where we were at in our relationship, that it felt exactly that. So, I mean, it was just the best feeling in the world that he asked me. I don't know. I was on cloud nine. I still am. I'm still so happy, but it was the perfect moment.
We built our relationship from the beginning and we cultivated, and every day we live and learn from each other. We share so many times together. And, we are in this environment and it was like things growing and growing and growing. But we get to a point when I want to know more her and I want to know and live things outside of the villa and getting excited and know more about her outside of the villa. But we also get to a point where like we were already in a relationship and it was just putting a label on it. And what made me take the decision is that she always made me secure of everything. And, I never lived before like such a healthy relationship with someone. And it's just like the way of how we communicate, we say things, or how we express things. And she made me like comfortable. She made me secure of myself and secure of what I'm feeling. And it was, why not? Like, I feel all of these things why I should not express. I should not be scared of it. And I just went and asked her, and I'm happy and I took that decision. And I did it in that point because, in the beginning, I was like, a little bit scared not in the beginning, but like to do it too fast, because I'm not a person that want to rush things. I want to be secure of what I'm going for. And I did it when I was the point that I was 100% secure to it.
I did have a question for you, because there has been this narrative throughout the season that I've been seeing online. And it's that Will, I saw something that you liked one of Kyra's pictures beforehand or something. So I wanted to just clear this up and let you guys speak on this for yourselves. Did you guys know each other beforehand, or what was the situation like there? Because there's been some rumors about that.
No, what? Actually, we were talking about this because we just figured it out that that happened, and we're like, how that was possible to happen? Like, we never met each other.
Never at all before.
But I was thinking that what happened is that probably the person that was managing my social media maybe did something like that before I was jumping in the island. I didn't have a phone like for a little while before getting to the island. Then maybe that person that I gave my account and was posting and doing all the stuff, because that person was like following the other islanders, liking other pictures of other islanders, because he was managing my account. And that was the scenario I'm thinking. But we never met each other, like never before. Like, and we live in the same city.
I think that's why it was such a coincidence for me finding out that we live so close, but also never meeting him before.
I never have like any friend in common either. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, like if we have, like we try to see if we had any friend in common, but we don't have common
Like,
at all.
I was thinking about it this, I was like, part of me wishes I met this amazing man sooner. But at the same time, I also think about it this way with where I'm at in my life, everything I've experienced in the past, and same with him. We met at the perfect time in Love Island, like in the villa. And so, yeah, I think about it that way. I'm like, I wish we met sooner, but we met at the perfect time.
I know, it was a perfect moment.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, and that explanation makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, just wanted to clear that up there before we continue. Now that you are saying this, you guys have such a close bond, are easily able to communicate with one another, and maybe a lot of that drama this season was outside perspectives on your relationship, and I imagine that must have been difficult for you both to deal with, because as we saw, it brought up those feelings every time somebody else had their own feelings on top of it. So what was that like for you both to deal with? And really, what do you want to say to people now that maybe have that view of your relationship?
At least for me, it was definitely a little difficult trying to navigate, outsiders' opinions versus like what I know that we have together, because a lot of what we communicate with each other is personal and that we keep between us. But at the same time, all the other islanders, they're my, like, they're best friends. They care for me. They're looking out for me, and also have their opinions of our relationship. So I also took that into consideration as well, because I'm not just going to ignore one side or the other. Definitely took that into consideration and care, and, expressed how I felt and wanted to understand their point of view as well, and just communicated that with Will, and being able to understand why they thought what they did and whatnot. And we really always have been drama free between us and kept everything very clear. And, I just always went and followed everything and made decisions based on how I felt, what I trusted, trust in my gut feeling, and trust in him as well, because he has time and time again showed me his truth, his honesty, and that has built my trust in him.
Yeah, no, like the drama that was happening after like Casa Amor, we had that conversation after that everything happened, right? And I told her about Flo, about what happened with Flo, about that she was a great person, great woman, and I was looking and like see if was anything there, but it wasn't. Always my connection was bigger with Kyra. And that was also like people don't understand that that's the reason people go to Love Island, to find connection and to find the higher connection. And I find my higher connection, and I told like Kyra right away after everything happened. And when that day then we have to choose, we stay with someone or with Kyra, I was 100% sure of Kyra. And I'm not saying like Flo is a great person, an amazing human being. Our communication have been always really good, like even if we have, like I speak in my second language is English, we try to figure it out in any way of as possible to be in the same page. And the drama that people were putting in us, actually, in sometimes I was tired of people bringing it again and again and again. And I feel like they just want to like not sabotage, but getting our relationship when we were already like far away from that part. We already overcome that, and like 2 weeks later, the people saying again, and it was kind of frustrating too.
Yeah, I did speak to at least the girls that in the villa when we were going through that whole thing. That I did appreciate their concern and care for me and how I felt and how I was approaching everything. At the same time, speaking with Will, hearing all of that, it was hurtful in the moment to hear all of that. But because of the honesty, because of the way he handled everything and approached everything, I reacted in the way that I did. And I told him if he had handled it differently, I would have also reacted differently.
Mm-hmm.
And, I appreciated everyone else's thoughts and concerns and opinions. But at the end of the day, I just really followed my gut feeling, my intuition, and took everything into consideration. And just that's how I went about making my decision.
And of course, I told you like I'm sorry about the situation. And I never wanted her to be in an uncomfortable situation or making her feel bad, because that wasn't my reason. I just, we had like an agreement before, and then we talked about that. That maybe people didn't know that, but yeah, I never want, like I told like here, I'm sorry, and because I actually never want to make her feel bad, and more because what happened. Then in one point, I actually was feeling bad about it, because I was like, it was necessary to do that, and I was feeling bad about it. But later we talked about that, and she told me like, no, like, don't worry, it's part of it. I understand you, and that made me like feel much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also the way he handled my emotions when I voiced how I was feeling, that he gave me all the reassurance I needed and calmed me down and helped make me feel okay and good and process and respected everything that I was feeling, and that we were able to really get through all of that together, and it made us stronger.
Yeah, definitely. And I did want to mention, you mentioned, Will, that you guys had an agreement. Was that before Casa Amor, or you just...
I wouldn't necessarily say agreement, but we were on the same page about the understanding of where we were at in the relationship, that we were open to making connections with other people, because like he said before, you come to Love Island to find connections, to see if there's other connections. And if you find a spark, if you find a connection with one person, new Islanders come in, and you also take every experience to test how strong your connection is and how strong your relationship is, which is exactly what happened. And we both came out of that experience together knowing that everything he went through, everything I went through, really emphasized the strength of what we do have.
That makes us stronger. And yeah, when I was saying agreement, is more like we talk about that thing that is going to happen, like how open we are to know another people. And we were open, but after whatever, like after it happened, we were like more secure of our relation at that point. And at that point we were like, we don't need to do the like personally, I don't need to do this anymore. Like I really feeling for you, and I am secure 100% of what I'm feeling. And then that was actually like a good point. And after that, our relationship like started like growing more and more and more.
Mm-hmm. And here we are today too. And I love hearing that, because I think it gives a little bit more of a backstory or more insight into your relationship that maybe fans didn't really get to see. So that's definitely helpful in looking back on your journey too. So yeah, thank you guys both for taking the time to chat with me today for PopCulture.com. I really appreciate it. I've loved getting to chat with you, and I've loved watching you both during this season. So I'm happy that you guys found each other.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you to PopCulture to have us, and see you next time. Or
if you want to look back on all of Will and Kyra's relationship, all episodes of season 3 of Love Island are currently available on Paramount Plus.